Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us at the markets. Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us at the market site in Times Square, we have Jay Gragnani. He's the head of research and client engagement over at Nasdaq Dorsey, Wright, and we are here for a monthly checkup on the charts for the markets overall. Jay, it's great to have you back with us as always.
Great to be here.
And what a month August was. We saw some volatility come back into the market. Great if you're a trader, a little bit tricky longer term.
That's right. You know, the month of August was really a month that got volatile. And if you go back and you look historically, summer months tend to be a bit more volatile. This past August ramped up that volatility a little bit, but really not outside of the normal realm of volatility that we see during the summer months. And it's interesting when you go back and you look during the month of August, we saw a lot of what we would consider to be volatile days. So days where the market closed up or down 1%, or what we're defining as the volatile days there. You saw a lot of those happen in August. But when you look at the bulk of the work in the summer months, it wasn't really too much outside of the realm of normal market conditions. Although it's been a while since we've seen that type of
All right, now speaking of summer trading, let's take a look at our first chart here. Seasonal weakness. This is supporting what you were just saying.
Excuse me, absolutely. And this is, when you look at this, the number of 14 on the right-hand side there, that's the number of days that the market moved up or down 1%. And that's the most that we've seen really since going back to 2015. So it's been a number of years since we've seen that many 1% days, but certainly no, in the realm of normal market environments, it's not exceedingly high where you go back and you look at markets like 2002 where you saw 40 days during the summer months, very, very volatile. 2008, you saw 29. Over double that of what we've seen this year. And so we saw the volatility pick up, but most of that was really pocketed in the month of August. So you got a lot of volatility condensed down into a small, very small amount of time. So for traders, for investors, it might have felt a little bit more volatile than the average summer.
Okay, let's take a check on the S&P 500, and this is using the Nasdaq Dorsey Wright point and figure chart. Explain to us what this methodology is and what it's saying to you.
Sure. So when you're looking at a point and figure chart, there's really two things to keep in mind. A column of X's represents that the price of a stock, or in this case the index, is moving higher in absolute price, and a column of O's represents that chart is moving lower in absolute price. And an area where a chart stops rising in X's is seen as a level of resistance on the chart. And so over the course of the past, call it month and a half, the S&P 500 developed quite a bit of overhead resistance right in that 2940 area. What we've recently seen, that breakout at 2950, get through that level of resistance, exceed the previous column of X's there on that chart, complete what we would call a spread triple top breakout, which is a positive bullish sign for that index as it got through that resistance level. So when you see that chart there, 2950, breaking through that resistance, that coming a second consecutive buy signal on the chart, and also coming within the confines of a generally positive trend for the index.
Okay, now our last chart here, this is a point and figure on the tech sector ETF, the XLK. What does this suggest to you?
Sure. So this is the technology ETF, and technology has been a sector that's led the market for the bulk of the year, has pulled back a bit during the course of the past month, as more or less taken a breather. What we haven't seen is technology really lose its leadership position. And really over the course of the past month, much like the S&P 500, more or less consolidated in a pattern that we would look at as being a triangle pattern. As a chart produces a series of lower tops and higher bottoms, forming what looks like a triangle. Just this month, at the beginning of September, that breaks out to the upside, very similarly coinciding with a breakout on the S&P 500 and completing what we would call a bullish triangle breakout on the chart there at $81. And so that's a positive breakout of a period of consolidation for XLK specifically, but certainly is a positive sign for the technology sector, as well as a continued positive sign for the market. You know, you think about the tech sector is the most important sector in the S&P 500 right now. It's about 22% of the S&P 500 index. So a breakout on the tech sector, XLK specifically, certainly bodes well for tech stocks going forward, but also the market at large.
All right, let's wrap up here with the Nasdaq 100, the NDX. Let's get your thoughts on that. This is the top 100 stocks on the Nasdaq Composite X Financial. So you can imagine these stocks are very relevant in the trading that we're seeing now.
Right. You think about the S&P 500 is about 22% tech. The Nasdaq 100 is more about almost 60% technology in there. And so as the technology stocks that are leading the XLK and leading the market, they are also contributing in very big ways to the Nasdaq 100 index from a cap-weighted perspective, with the big stocks certainly carrying the bulk of that. But we've also seen a number of those stocks return to buy signals on their individual charts, and that is boding well just in terms of the breadth of the strength in that index. As you look at an indicator, the bullish percent for the Nasdaq 100 reversing back up and moving up close to 65%. All of that is to say about 2/3 of the Nasdaq 100 stocks are on buy signals. We're being controlled by demand right now.
All right, Jay, thank you so much as always for the update. And thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.